Hey everyone, it's Chris with Hot Shots Catering, and I want to thank you guys so much for joining me for another great episode of Hot Shots TV. If you're new here and you're wondering why I'm dressed this way, then definitely like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you love everything coffee, because that's what we talk about here at Hot Shots. Now, do you like nuts? Do you like coffee? Then you're probably like me, a coffee nut. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and it has to do with this right here. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Take me back to Mexico, that Cancun sun would turn to sun. We're high on, we wanted to hide.
And welcome back. So today's show is going to be all about Pinyon coffee. And if you're not familiar with Pinyon coffee, we're going to go right into it. We're going to talk about it a little bit here. I was actually first introduced to Pinyon coffee, and I even actually tried this coffee before, but it wasn't, it was in a little sealed bag. It was basically a sample. So I saw this actually at my local grocery store recently, and I said, you know what, let me give this coffee really kind of a second chance. I want to taste it and have a really good idea of what this is all about. And this is basically a staple, as far as I know, of a coffee in New Mexico. And so Pinyon is actually it's like a pine tree. And so the Pinyon pine tree or Pinyon pines grow in the state of New Mexico in the desert. And basically the pine cones, from what I understand, they open up and you can get these little Pinyon nuts, and people roast the nuts, and you can also get it now with the coffee. So they use coffee, and I think before, I'm going to read a little bit to you about this, but before they used to use actually the Pinyon nuts and kind of put them, I guess, somehow together with the actual coffee. I'm not too sure about that. But now, since of allergies and all kinds of rules with kind of foods and all this type of stuff that's governed by our government, I think they use real Pinyon nuts, and then they do something as far as getting that flavor either with a syrup or something into the actual coffee to create a certain taste so that people don't have allergens and all these different types of things that happen to all of us. So let's start with who they are. They started over 25 years ago. New Mexico Pinyon Coffee began with a 15-pound roaster in the back of this old pickup truck. It's a red 1952 Chevy pickup truck. And today they're one of the largest, if not the largest, roasters in the state of New Mexico. They do over 1 million pounds of coffee in 2017. And you can find them in almost every grocery store in New Mexico, as well as Costco, Colorado, and grocery store chains nationwide, which is how I picked this up. And then they get into kind of all these different things. Their product, the coffee, is made with the finest high altitude Arabica coffee and our custom natural Pinyon flavoring. Our coffees are hand roasted under the watchful supervision of our master roasters to ensure quality, flavor, and aroma. The result, a rich coffee with a smooth, nutty flavor, available in a light, medium, or dark roast. And just so you know, this is a medium roast, so we're definitely, you know me, I know my mediums, and I'm going to tell you if this to me is really a medium coffee. Aside from our traditional Pinyon coffee, we offer a variety of different flavors. So they have all kinds of different flavors and stuff with their coffee throughout the year. What are Pinyons? So I just said that they're basically Southwest Pinyon pine trees that grow wild in the Southwest. They produce a fairly rare and prized for its smooth, the nut they produce is fairly rare and prized for its smooth, buttery taste. So how do you get the Pinyon flavor in the coffee? I'm reading some of their frequently asked questions because I just want to give you a quick rundown of what this is so you guys can kind of understand. You're probably watching this video. If you're not watching for my sake, you're probably watching because you picked this up or you're looking at it right now at a grocery store aisle and you're wondering, what the heck is it? So the flavor that's in the coffee, over 25 years ago, the Pinyon coffee was created with a blend of Arabica coffee and a small amount of Pinyon nuts, just like I said previously. But due to allergies and the FDA regulations, they've actually changed all that regarding wild harvested So I guess that's kind of a ruling in food. So now they use 100% Arabica beans and a custom created natural pinyon flavoring in our coffee. The flavoring is all natural, free of potential allergens, and helps us keep the pinyon flavor consistent in every cup. So I don't know how they're doing that. Like I said, it might be a syrup, it might be something like that. I really don't know. But there's actually, it sounds to me, that there is no contamination of the pinyon nuts with the beans, which is good. If you have allergens and you're afraid of that, that would be good for you. Are all the flavors natural? Yes, of course. All of our coffees are custom created, all natural, and free from all major allergens. And then they talk about where their beans come from, basically Central and South America. They're Arabica beans, but their coffee is not organic. So they're probably not using any coffees that are certified organic, and they're using just what they think is the highest quality coffee that they can get to put together. So other than that, everything's pretty much a bag of coffee, right? But it's a pinyon flavored coffee. And so what does that mean? Some of the stuff I've read is it gives it very kind of chocolatey notes to it. So we're going to find out today and see exactly what this is all about in this quick little review. So stay still. Get your cups ready, get everything ready to go. And as always, like we always do here on this channel, I'm gonna put probably up here, I'm gonna put our coffee profile, which you can download for yourself in the description box below and follow along and do this tasting with me if you have this coffee in front of you. So let's do it together. Let me get some water, let me get everything kind of brewed, let me brew the coffee, and we'll be right back. All right, my friends, so are we ready? Let's try this Pinyon coffee. So I did a French roast this time. You guys know I kind of do something different. I want to try something different every single time almost. But you know, if you know a French roast is great. So let's see if we can bring out some of these flavors. It's been about 4 minutes, so I'm just going to push this down. And let's see what we got for our Pinyon coffee. The first time I tried this, like I said, it was like a little sample pack, and it was, to me, it was something that I didn't feel like I got the whole experience. So that's really why I wanted to do this video for you guys and really give you a better experience, give you my personal opinion on this coffee. And like I said, if you know my videos, we put a coffee profile up here so you can follow along at home if you have this coffee, or if you just want to know what all the qualities and everything that represents this coffee is all about. I list it right up here as we do the tasting. So let's do the tasting. This coffee should be nice and brewed by now. By the way, the beans smell really, really good. And the coffee's looking really good too. It's looking nice and dark. So that's a good sign, as always. But the coffee, it has a really kind of caramelizing, I don't know. It smells caramely to me. And I guess that makes sense. I don't know, but it has a really kind of this caramel hint to me when I smell it and everything else. So let's see if it tastes the same way. Let's just dive in. It's really dark. Smells really good. Like I said, really sweet smelling, kind of like a caramel smell to it. That's really hot. So aroma, I would say good, if not great. I like the smell of it. I like the smell of the beans in the bag. This is already pre-ground, by the way, too, so we got to take that into account. But for the most part, so far, it tastes pretty good. Color is definitely, I would say actually medium to dark, probably more on the dark side. But then again, I made it actually just the way it said, 1 to 2 tablespoons. I actually did 2. I like my coffee. You guys know I like my coffee a little bit darker. So that could be part of it, but I would say medium to dark, but the way I brewed it, it's probably more like a dark roast or a dark brew. Now let's get into taste, because there's some notes here that I'm tasting that are a little off-putting. The very first one I'm getting is almost like I gotta admit, is really like a sour acidic taste is kind of the first thing that hits me. And I'm not a big fan of that in coffees. A lot of the coffees I drink don't have any kind of bitterness or kind of sour to it. But that's kind of the first thing that I'm tasting right off the bat. Which, to be honest too, could be, I just brewed this and I'm trying to chug it down here to give you guys a good flavor profile. But it definitely has, as well as, like I said, with that smell, caramelizing, caramel, whatever you want to call it, taste or smell to it, it has that in a taste. So the caramel smell doesn't quite match, but it is something that I would figure it would taste like. It does have kind of a caramel taste to it as well, which I think is pretty good. It kind of trails towards the end, but like I said, even if I made this, you know, a little bit darker, like I've made it probably darker than just a light medium roast. That could be why I'm tasting a little bit more acidic, on the acidic side, but I like it. It's not my favorite. It's not smoky, but it does have kind of a sour acidic taste to me. Sweet. I'd probably say sweet as well. So I would say acidic, sour, sweet for taste. It's definitely rich and bold, but that's partly how I made it. You can definitely taste it, but it's not as rich and bold as some of the other coffees we have reviewed in the past. As far as notes go, definitely nutty. I can definitely taste the nutty, and like they said, like a chocolatey flavor notes to it. But I would say it's more of a nutty, maybe more citrus. It's very, to me, like I said, it's kind of really acidic. And I'll make this again and I'll drink it throughout the week. Like a lot of times I'll tell you guys I like to do, so I can really get a good firm opinion and give it to you guys out there. But first and foremost, kind of the first notes to me is acidic, sour, and sweet under taste. And then for notes, it's definitely not buttery, it's definitely not herbal. But if anything, it's probably more citrus, fruity. It's not really artificial either. I definitely taste the pine, the pinyon. Which what I'm assuming is what I'm tasting. But it's definitely not artificial. It's definitely not smoky or buttery. But let's try it with a little bit of cream. As you know, here we always like to do a little bit of cream tasting with our coffees, so we can kind of get a whole nother flavor profile. This will bring out some of those underlying notes, I should say, I guess, that's in that coffee that I may or may not be tasting. And I normally always like cream in my coffee, like I said, because it really kind of calms down the coffee. So let's see if this takes away a lot of that acidity. Now see, I like that. And that gives it a whole different flavor profile. The acidity and all that is kind of gone away. And now we're left more with kind of those caramelizing flavors. Overall, as far as a review for this coffee, I would say it's not bad. Like I said, for me, the first and foremost thing that's putting me off on this coffee is the acidic and the sour taste that it has. That could be part of the brewing method, but to be honest with you, I think it's just the coffee. And that might have been why originally, like I said, when I did the little taste tester that I got, I didn't feel like it did it justice, but maybe it did. I would say, you know, would I buy this coffee to drink it every day? Me personally, probably not. I don't really like the flavor that it has. I like the caramel smell. I like the caramel notes that are in it, but I'm gonna have to keep drinking it to really give it some justice to see if I really like this coffee. But so far, guys, I will tell you, and I wasn't paid to do this or anything. Like I said, all my reviews, I should say, are all pretty much for me paying, being a consumer like you, going out, buying the coffee, trying it, and seeing if I like it. So I'm gonna tell you, this is probably by far right now one of my least favorite coffees that we've done in the review so far. But I think it, you know, let me try it, let me see more about it. But as of right now, it is not my favorite. There's too much acidity to it, and it's a little bit too sour for my taste. But the caramel flavors and stuff are there. It does tone down a little bit better when you add some cream to it. But other than that, I would have to tell you guys it's not my favorite. So there's not much more I could talk about it, but let me do this. I'm gonna drink this for the rest of the week. And I'll chime in somewhere here on the YouTube and let you guys know how I feel about this coffee. But right now the jury's out. If you've tried this coffee, let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you guys think of this coffee. Supposedly a lot of people like this coffee. Maybe I'm doing something different here. I just quickly brewed this. Maybe I made it too bold, but that shouldn't really make a big difference in the acidity and the sour notes that I'm getting from it. But let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for joining me here at Hot Shots. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my video today. I wanted to quickly tell you guys, right now we are offering free shipping at shophotshots.com. So check it out. If you love everything about coffee and you want to bring that gourmet coffee experience home, check out shophotshots.com right now and get your free shipping for any order that you purchase from us in the store. Thank you guys so much for watching again today, and I'll see you guys on the next one.